I don't know. Are you unmuted?
Auxiliary. No. I am now unmuted.
There you go.
Yay! They could hear you right away. They couldn't hear me. Alright, hopefully the screen's not too loud. I can hear you. Let me see if I can keep talking. I want to make sure that I don't have you too loud.
Okay.
I need a little bit louder.
I be talking. Be talk.
Okay. I think you're quiet enough that you won't echo too badly, but you're loud enough that I can hear you. Yeah, you settle down back there. Oh, hectic week. So we all know that I got visited by we're going to call the Easter Bunny last week. The Easter Bunny with the red and blue flashy lights.
I didn't actually catch that in the chat.
Yeah, I got caught by the Easter Bunny with the red and blue flashy lights, and he left me a nice Easter egg that I had to take down to the Easter basket to find out how big the Easter egg actually was.
Oh.
He didn't like the sticker on the front of my truck. You know, the one that has like a month and a year.
Oh, that. Yeah, actually, you know what? Funny you say that. That happened to me.
Yeah, you got nabbed. You got nabbed by the Easter Bunny for your registration, didn't you?
Yep. Cause.
Yeah, I got nabbed for my inspection.
Yeah. See, because we don't have that. So.
Yeah, we have. I know. Like and the thing is like, they're not required to make sure that the roads are passable for our vehicles to be on them, but we have to make sure that our vehicles are passable for the roads. Go figure that one out.
Yeah.
I mean, even Old Car Auto Guy mentioned how bad our roads were from New York as soon as he crossed the border into Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I've driven on some pretty awful roads.
But when your main roads are awful.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, you can take a look. So, this happened the summer I moved. I remember when my town didn't have 3 traffic circles in it.
Yeah.
Now, they're not a proper sized traffic circle. Like, you've seen them, you've looked at Google Maps and you've seen how
Yeah, they're too small.
They're tiny as hell. Like, they're actually designed.
They're a suggestion.
They're designed so that you can run the things over, because they're so small. But the one thing is, that road was never designed for that. So what happens when a road that was initially designed to not have traffic circles on it, and you're now driving on the curb, essentially?
Basically.
What happens is, because the sort of energy forces of just driving down the road are, instead of being more centralized in the road, are now towards the curb, which the curb is not strong enough to hold up to that, so it just creates massive potholes.
We call those aprons. I think. Aprons are runoffs.
Well, it's an interchangeable term.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, how many different words for the same things does America versus Canada have? I mean, it's
for sure.
It wasn't a matter of your term wasn't correct. It was a funny how does it like it's like boot and trunk.
So, well, the one thing is, even in Canada, I've heard the curb called what you said as well, to be honest.
An apron? Or a runoff?
Yeah, I've heard it called that too.
Breakdown lane.
Honestly, it depends where you're from in Canada, though, too, because actually that's more of an East Canada thing.
Well, hey, you know what? Maybe that might be the same thing with the U.S. and it might be they might call it something else different out. But out where I'm from, and I'm on the East Coast, we call them it's either the apron, the runoff. A curb is actually where it's a bump up. So for me, a curb would be where if the road has an actual like raised shoulder. Like what a sidewalk would be on.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, this road has the sidewalks there. Like, that's where it's cracking. Where it meets the sidewalk there, that edge of the road.
Yeah. So, yeah, technically that would be a curb then.
Yeah, so there you go. And it's one of those things, because, yeah, every about 2 or 3 months, there's a massive pothole at the second traffic circle, because it gets the most traffic.
Well, if they eventually fill it up with enough stone, it will get compact enough, and it will no longer form potholes.
Do you think they're filling it with
stone? Yeah, that was.
They don't.
That was sarcasm.
Yeah, but they're not even doing that. Like, that's the funny thing. I've been tempted, to be honest, I have spare gravel around here. Just fill my trunk with a bit of gravel and just park it at the side of the road and just shovel it in there. I've been tempted. Right now, it's not too bad. It was really bad like a month ago. Because they did do a little bit of a patch on it. But their patches don't fucking last at all.
Oh, the monetization, the random ads. Trying an experiment. YouTube has pushed out a live ad
I have seen that, yeah, because actually it popped up on when I was going to when I did my last live stream. I saw that, and like, oh, I didn't turn it on because I don't take the random breaks because I don't know if it tells you. I haven't tried it. You know.
I don't think it said from what when I clicked on it, it said it will give it to random people.
Hi, Jesse.
Not all viewers will get the ad at the same time, and they will get pushed out for the ad and then returned back to the live stream when the ad is over. Which I don't know how that would work, because I mean, to me, that would mean that people could be missing part of the conversation if they get pushed out at an ad in the middle of something. So, well, this is a test. I'm trying it out. If it becomes to a point to where it's a problem for my viewers, I will go back to manually putting in the ads every 20 minutes where we can break the conversation, let the ad play, and then come back to the conversation so we're not having anybody losing part of the conversation. But I still, I still has to, make something out of this. So.
Which.
By the way, hi Jesse, hi Brad. I do see you both. Oh.
And because like.
So anyway, back to the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
So I got the wonderful, you need to have your vehicle inspected, which I'm trying. They hit me at a kind of a bad time because at that moment I did have a check engine light for the evap system. Though that since has apparently cured itself, so it'll probably randomly come back at some point. Things that randomly cure themselves tend to randomly come back.
I mean, it's a Dodge, though. They always fix themselves.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm never underneath of it to fix it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it is funny that way because my family has predominantly, or at least my dad and my mom, predominantly own Dodges. Throughout most of my life, like, my dad had the 81 D150, we had a 93 Caravan, we had a 91 Caravan, my dad had a 89 Plymouth Acclaim, and there was a few other ones too, to be honest, that I can't think of off the top of my head at the moment. And yeah, anytime there was something that was a problem, if it wasn't like suspension or anything like that, if it started making weird noise, just keep driving it. Just don't drive it as hard. And it eventually goes away. Like, Dodges just do that of a certain age, and yours is old
I wish
enough.
It would fix the track bar on its own. That would have been nice.
Right? I mean, unfortunately, it's mostly just, like, engine and transmission stuff at times that it fixes. Other than that, not as much. Sometimes. Because transmission can also be a problem. As you're well aware.
Yeah, that one didn't fix itself either.
No.
But no, so I got visited by the Easter Bunny. I'm just having at this point having fun calling it the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, Saber, you paused the live stream.
Well, don't do that.
Yeah.
Bad Saber.
Yeah, my cat just flopped over on the keyboard and pressed the spacebar. Yes, okay, I'll give you attention then.
Anyway, so I already knew that it needed. Obviously, I knew that it needed to get inspected. Been putting it off because I didn't want to freaking spend the money where, whatever. Not to mention the fact that we're almost always using both the vehicles, or at least one of them, and having one of them in the shop, even if it's only for a day, kind of sucks sometimes. So I think so originally I knew I needed front brakes, and I wanted to replace the windshield wiper motor, and I needed, what was the other thing I needed? I think that's all that I needed. Well, I needed to put the exhaust back on it, and some other stupid stuff that probably wouldn't have mattered for inspection. But I also was kind of curious as to what my front suspension issue was and why the tires were wearing out so bad. So I had Jess get in the truck and had her, cycle the, left to right on the steering to see if I could spot something. And lo and behold, the ball joint part of the track bar, which is the part that goes up to the frame, yeah, it was definitely wiggling around just quite a bit. So obviously that the the ball joint end failed. But I have a feeling I think I know why. So when they did my alignment, Bradley, we know you guys are in our hearts and minds. You guys, I'm surprised you're here. So if you're not talkative and you just want to hang out, go for it. For anybody who doesn't know, they lost a family member. And the Chris and Brad are both hurting this weekend.
Yeah, sad.
That is gross. I do not like my choice in beverage. But I'm not gonna waste it, so I'm gonna drink it.
Well, that's good to hear you're not a quitter.
Well, we'll give it out. This is not one that I like.
What even is? Because I can't really read it. What even is
It's Pilsner Urquell. It was in the it's a Czech Republic Pilsner.
Oh, he says got an older Crandall sitting across from me as well.
Oh, is Chris there?
I mean, I would presume that they'd be together, but it
doesn't necessarily mean so.
I mean, that's true, because, Chris is a truck driver after all.
I'm sure he's home for the weekend. Yeah, I'm sure he's home on bereavement.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect him to be at work.
No. There are.
He's got family members to family matters to attend to.
Exactly.
Anyway, so yeah, not a fan of Pilsner. This Pilsner, at least.
Yeah.
But it was in the pick your own 6, and that's when I like to try different things that I may not always try, because don't want to get a whole case of something if find out I don't like it after the first one.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I was never a beer fan in general when I could drink. I just didn't like it.
Depends on the beer. Some beers I really like, and some I don't.
Yeah, I drank quite a few, trying to try them, and just nothing I liked at all. It's just I only liked my hard liquors, so
Oh, I definitely like my hard liquors, but I'm kind of at the
yeah, it's
the last swig. Now I have some good old I got some Seagrams.
Oh, there you go.
Did not like it. This one's too old.
What do you mean too old?
Yeah. I don't know when this one was made, but it's been sitting around for a good bit. I don't know if they have a date on them. You think they would?
Well, I mean, okay, if it's been opened and then sat, that's one thing.
Yeah, it's been opened.
But if it's just been sitting, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it's been opened.
Because technically, alcohol is sealed.
I've had that bottle. I think I've had that bottle since 2015.
I mean, I've got some in the liquor cabinet that's older than that.
Oh, I have some stuff, but that one I don't know. I don't like it.
So something actually, because I remember, so funny, and if we got caught doing this, because this would have been bad. So
we're gonna admit it in a podcast on live.
I think we're well past when I'd be caught for this. So the thing is, this happened. I don't even remember how old I was. I was in grade 9. Put it that way. Actually, no, maybe even. I don't even think it was grade 9. It may have even been earlier than that. Regardless, there was this assignment in school, and we had to do this drunk driving sort of film thing, right? And,
did you actually go drunk driving?
Well, no. But
for
we
the,
did
for the
I did
experience?
grab liquor from the cabinet though. I had I think a vodka. I gave my friend some rye. The other one some rum. We didn't actually drink it.
From your house where your dad was at.
Yeah, none of them were home.
I'm guessing none of them are home now.
Yeah, no, none of them were. Actually, my dad knew that I did this, so it was fine because he actually drove.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's if he's already in cahoots, man, you're not like your mom's gonna get you in trouble for this at this point.
Please, I haven't had contact with her in years, so it's fine. And like this is the one thing we did this, and it's funny because
kids don't steal your parents' liquor.
Yeah, no, don't do that. But we weren't actually drinking. We were pretending to take swigs, but we had the caps on it, and just pretending to drink and drive. But the funniest part was because our camera guy sucked for this. So I'm driving the minivan that we had because we had a spare caravan at the time when my parents were at home. So we just quickly shot this. It took us all of like 5 minutes to shoot this, to be honest. And the one thing is though, because again, it's just a beater-old caravan. It didn't matter. I physically not going very fast, going maybe 5 kilometers an hour tops. My friend Dylan at the time, he jumps onto the hood pretending to be hit by me, right? But then, I got the random ad. But the thing is, after he fell to the ground because it was a bit muddy, so he didn't actually want to fall to the ground. Yeah, I can't remember who we had filming, but he didn't stop the film. So you see him get back up like nothing happened.
There goes your editing.
Oh, exactly. We weren't editing crap. We were literally on tape. Actual tape.
Yeah, that's the worst stuff to edit.
Yeah, exactly. You have to physically cut it. So yeah, it was just really funny, to be honest, that we did that.
Well, unless you have a dual deck.
Yeah. I mean, I still have the camera around here somewhere, but it's just.
Yeah. If you have a dual deck, you can stop recording on the second tape, and then go to the next part that you want to record and hit play and record, and then it'll that's how you would edit.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a dual deck. It was just a single. So.
Well, obviously, but that's a little bit of a I wouldn't say a pricey piece of equipment, but not the average person had a dual deck a tape to tape recorder.
Yeah, true. Because this would have been around probably 2007 or so, give or take. So.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
2007. It was already on DVDs.
Yeah,
and we had micro. They were micro CDs.
Yeah, okay.
And stuff.
It's the only camera we had.
No, I'm not dissing.
Because I couldn't even
That's not the point.
For this. I don't think I had. Actually, no, I did have a phone, and we could have potentially used the phone. But bear in mind, I did not know how to try and port that.
Was it full size tapes or was it the little micro tapes?
Oh, it was similar to cassette.
So little micro tapes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
Were they 6 mil or something like that? I forget.
Something like that. I can't remember.
6 mil, 4 mil.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I can't. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's the same here. And it's one of these things.
Well, I'm assuming it would be the same amount of long time because time works like that.
It's true. It does. But yeah, my dad,
I mean, unless your time is different than my time. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Depending.
Maybe time runs faster or slower up in Canada. They have to take less distance around the center point of the Earth.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, time flows the same way. And then if you're in Alaska, you'll have daylight for 2 months straight, and then darkness for
yeah, what happens if you sit right on the very, very center axis of the Earth?
You still have a 24-hour clock, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but would you get dizzy?
I don't think so. Although there's something kind of cool, actually. If you're directly at the equator, because it's a tourist sort of trick that they do, to be honest, and it's a legit thing. So, there's this town. I remember seeing this video that's just right at the equator, and the thing is, on one side of the equator, they have a bowl and a bunch of water, in going into this small little tub.
You mean the spinning one way versus spinning the other?
Yeah. If you're on the northern axis, it is clockwise. Otherwise, it's counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. It's kind of cool. I don't know why it works that way, but it does.
I do believe it has something to do with like magnetic poles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I believe so. But it's just kind of neat.
Because technically, water still has minerals in it.
True, it does. You know, like anybody that's out well water will know that there's minerals in it. Okay, don't press the spacebar again. You've done it twice now.
Anyway, we're a long way. Does the Easter Bunny pull you over at the equator? And does he pull you over on the left or the right, depending on whether you're north or south of the equator?
You know what? Maybe just right down.
The audience wants to know, doesn't it?
Maybe right down the middle.
He just runs you right over.
Exactly.
Walks up on top of the center of your car to arrest you.
But yeah, for my infraction, which was 3 weeks ago now, I think. They wanted 324 carats out of me.
Carrots?
Yeah.
Oh, at least it wasn't potatoes or something.
Right?
Yeah.
That was...
Mine wasn't that bad. I think mine was only like 150 carats.
I mean, I don't blame money.
Get this part. Let's get this part. I had more carrots out in all of the stupid BS that they tack onto your ticket than the actual fine.
Well,
my actual fine, the actual thing that I got pulled over for, was 25 carats. The other 125 was all of the BS that has nothing to do with the stop that they tack on every stop. Ambulance fee and this fee and that. Did you bring it? Why are you charging me an ambulance fee? Did the ambulance ever show up to my this call?
Yeah, that's an American thing, because they don't do that in Canada.
Oh yeah, it's stupid.
Because whatever.
If I had it on me right this second, I would tell you what it was. But yeah, there was so much added BS. Because the actual fine was only $25.
Jeez, because in this one, the thing is, he did the maximum fine for it, which blows. But I don't.
How late were you?
Almost a year.
Okay.
I
totally
totally understand. So it expired in June or July of last year.
Same. My inspection ran out in July.
So, but the one thing is, last year they did this. So controversial thing. They claim that it's gonna save Albertans, $3 million or something a year. It's BS.
Oh, the thing where you don't have the actual sticker anymore?
Yep, we got rid of the stickers last year.
Yeah, they did that to us too. And yeah, it is really hard to remember when you need to replace it because you have no physical reminder.
Yeah, they don't send them reminders anymore. They used to send you a physical reminder in the mail.
Oh, yeah, I have a physical reminder because I just got one for the truck. It runs out in June.
Yeah, now mine, it's good until next year at this point. So now that we did it, and the one thing is though, because that whole thing, what was dumb because when the cop pulls me over and everything, and he was honestly pretty friendly and everything, it was fine, and yeah, it was just really annoying when it happened, but after the whole ordeal and everything, he goes, well, I will allow you to do this. You can drive your car over to the parking lot over there, and you can see about getting it done, and because you can do it online. But the problem was, it wouldn't let me do it online, which was dumb. I couldn't pay the ticket online either. I had to go in to do that.
Oh yeah, whenever with here, at least in our state, anything to do with an inspection or a registration, the cop will leave the fine part blank, and you have to go into the courthouse or district justice or whatever, and plead guilty or not guilty, and then they'll give you your fine amount. Which again is stupid.
That is weird.
Because otherwise I could have just set up payment plans and paid it, online without ever having to talk to anybody. But no, because it's an inspection or a registration issue, you have to go in front of. And it's not even a judge I go in front of. Or just go there to the clerks, and the clerks fill in the information.
Yeah, see, here, it's a little interesting because we don't have to, unless if, like, you have a court date or whatever, that's the only time you go to a courthouse. Otherwise, you just go straight to the registry to pay your ticket.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter what the ticket is. It's kind of interesting how that works now, which that's kind of convenient about our system because it's a private system, so it's totally fine that way, as opposed to a public system, which I believe the entire United States is a public system. You know, with like, because you physically have DMVs, while up here we have registries, at least here in Alberta, anyways. Just straight registries, and they're all different. You know,
Right.
and it's kind of nice, and so like, yeah, you can go anywhere to do it. So it's not so bad. But, so, afterwards, you know, that happened, I still had to get my dad from the airport. So, I just chanced it, and thank God I didn't get pulled over again. But
that's the thing us normal peoples have to do, you know? We don't have the ability to stop our lives just because, you know...
Well, I mean, because, okay, regardless, I was out in Olds, which is not that far. It's about 40 kilometers. The thing is, I would have had to drive illegally regardless. It's either drive it back here to Sundre, pick up my dad's car, or even just grab my convertible and drive it. Right? Either or. But I don't know how it got missed, to be honest, because like the convertible was up to date, but not my daily driver, which makes no sense.
No, of course not.
Makes no sense. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
Hey, Harvey.
Hi, Harvey.
Harvey said he missed us last week. Well, actually, everybody missed me last week. I think it was me and Brad here last week. That was it.
Yeah, because I...
Are you fine over there, doggo? Getting comfortable?
Because I was doing other stuff.
Huh?
Because I was doing other stuff. So.
Oh, you're fine. Nobody needed to be here. It's just we had a short day because, I mean, I was not feeling the greatest either. I was having some stomach issues and had to run to the bathroom anyway. But yeah, I mean, it just was a slow week. Everybody was busy apparently. I mean, granted, like I said, most of the time, if I'm on here for about a half hour, some people start trickling in, which is about now. But I think we were on for, I don't know, it was a half hour or an hour. It wasn't too long.
It was just under an hour. I remember seeing it was like 57 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. Well, you got to think that there's also the 10 minutes or so for the countdown. So
yeah, and
then like 40 minutes.
So something
minutes.
Actual content related, because I shared that little thing, at least in, like, it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, it's on TikTok, it's even on Facebook.
The light issue?
Huh?
The light?
No. This thing with that Fargo, right? That cool Canadian-only Mopar.
Oh, the truck.
Yeah. So on Instagram, that has blown up. Where everything else has maybe 1,000 views, which is, pretty.
I said you were like well over 4,000 views on that.
Oh, I'm over 7,500 now.
Woo!
Yeah, on Instagram, it's got 494 likes.
See, we don't have anything cool. I don't have anything cool around here that I can just film shit like. I could post a picture of that little Datsun. That's also not in my backyard.
Yeah, and it's just. I didn't expect the video to do that. I understand it's a cool old truck.
Oh, mine's just a picture, not a video,
But also, like, that truck, it may as well be, like, okay, yes, it's got some condition issues, but there's no rust, period. It's from
it just looks like patina, right?
Yeah, just patina. And there is, now, I will say, because old metal does this, there are some cracks in parts of the metal, but no actual rust. It's really neat, but this is one thing that people don't realize. So, this was, because it's a 1948...
Did the sound get fixed? Fargo is cool. What sound?
Yeah.
Our sound here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, he might be talking about maybe the echo. Maybe it's just not as bad. even though
I don't
they're
know, but whatever you
possibly.
just did, you decided to go. You're trying to hide behind my video up here in the corner.
Oh, welcome to my internet.
Yeah,
Um,
Harvey spooked you. You're trying to hide.
but yeah, because like that. So 1948, right? It's the um first year for a brand new Dodge, and actually I believe that's also the first year for Ford as well, producing a brand new vehicle after the war.
Um, he's talking about your Canadian vehicle video audio.
Oh, yeah, I figured that out. Because literally, that went for like 3 minutes, and then I stopped that one and did another one right after, because it was a live stream that I did.
Oh, okay.
Because I was just talking about, like Canadian only vehicles and brands, because there's a few, to be honest. In that I just wanted to.
Well, you guys have the Arcadia, which is it's different than our Nova.
Acadian.
Acadian. I am sorry for the mispronunciations of the Canadian words.
The fact that actually you being an Eastern American should know Acadian, to be honest, that's actually a thing. Closer to the border there. Like, I know you're not right up at the border.
I have. You and everybody else are attacking my phonics skills. These skills that I have the least proficiency in.
Well, I'm not talking about. So I'm not talking about the language or anything, because Acadians spoke French, but
I know of it. I know of that vehicle.
Yeah.
Again, because I'm also a Nova guy.
Yeah, but actually, well, because the name comes from French Canadians and Americans. They were essentially in the New York area, dating back. This is probably more like 300 or 400 years ago, and it's just one of those things. And they're just cool, but like this, but regardless though, because yeah, we had a bunch, like, because I talked about, because Ford, not just Mercury pickups, Ford had a brand that was specifically for Canada. It was called Meteor.
Well, they have a specific brand for Australia too.
Well, actually, no. Ford in Australia is just Ford.
Oh. Okay, no, it's Chevy that has Holden and.
Well, did.
That's right.
Yeah, Holden's dead.
Yeah, well, the GM's just axed everything, so.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things that way. As my brain starts.
I just have a feeling that a lot of the things that we have grown up and known are going to get the axe here shortly. So.
True.
Malls, stores, brands, restaurants. Yeah, I think there's going to be a max exodus of brands and names that we know coming in the next couple of years. Yeah. And products.
But like something interesting, and the reason why actual Canadian vehicles existed that were just essentially rebadged or just a little bit different versions of American cars, because like it's interesting, all the Canadian Pontiacs have Chevrolet drivetrains and Chevrolet frames.
Well, the frames are almost always the same.
Pontiacs actually use their own frames on their full framed vehicles. Like even dating back to the 50s, underneath they were different. So completely, it merged sometime in the 60s, but in the 50s and early 60s they were different from each other completely. But because the Canadian Pontiacs, like for example, probably the most popular one was the Parisienne, which is essentially a Catalina, I believe. And it has, the same sort of body on it, but they had Chevrolet drivetrains. You can get the Chevrolet 250, you can get a 283, a 327, and 350 as well. And you could get the big blocks as well, depending on year. But it's just kind of cool. But yeah, they didn't have Pontiac drivetrains. So it does make the Canadian Pontiacs a little cheaper to, like, get parts for and stuff like that, because it's not Pontiac. It's Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, yeah, like the Acadian, like literally, it's just a Nova with a Pontiac nose and Pontiac taillights on it. And
Oh, the Ventura and the Phoenix were basically the same way too. It was basically a Chevy Nova with a different front nose and a different tail and a slightly different interior.
Well, see, it's interesting because the Phoenix here it wasn't Nova. Trying to think what that was.
Pretty sure. I mean, I know they went with the Ventura, but I think there was something else before the Ventura.
Yeah, because we had a version of the Phoenix that was like a Monza. I think.
I'm gonna double check my American end here. Hold on.
Because I know like there was the Sunbird, but that's different. No worries, Bradley. Take your time.
Okay, so they had, it was the Phoenix. The vehicles that were on the X platform was the Buick Apollo, the Buick Skylark, the Chevy Nova, the Oldsmobile Omega, the Pontiac Ventura, and the Pontiac Phoenix, depending on year.
See, I don't think we got the Phoenix here then. That's interesting.
Let's see if I can pull up a picture of the Phoenix.
Yeah, because I just don't remember it.
The Phoenix was from 1977 to 1984. There would have been a 4th gen Phoenix.
Okay.
That would have been like the
Is that the X body?
Concourse Nova.
Oh, okay.
That'd be like the Concourse trim for the Nova because it's got the Landau top and the quarter window. It's got the same window underneath of that as the regular Chevy Novas. It's all covered up to change the shape of it.
Yeah, because, and actually, Harvey, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of the Phoenix in the 80s when they went to, I believe it was the X body, and it was front-wheel drive.
Well, it was always the X body.
Or, sorry, not X, whatever, their frickin' front-wheel drive platform through the 80s and everything was on.
You mean that one?
No, because that's like the Citation. I think that's what that's based off of. The Chevrolet Citation.
No, it's still the X body. That's the 79 through 84.
Oh, okay.
Or 80 to 84 model.
Oh, okay.
And it's still X body.
Well, and like.
But that's front wheel drive layout. Yeah, that's Chevy Citation, Oldsmobile Omega, and Buick Skylark.
See, I think I've only ever seen the Citation. But not many of them even have survived. They weren't a good vehicle to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And, at least that's what I've heard. They just weren't the best for reliability. Okay, it is extra. I couldn't remember. I don't remember the platforms for GM, to be honest.
Well, I mean, technically the X platform was rear-wheel drive up until 1980.
Oh, there you go.
In 1980, they went to that Citation platform.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Well, like, and something. It is interesting because GM actually was the last one to do a Canadian-only model of a vehicle, because now it's all the same. But the last one, there was actually 2 of them, because we had a brand called Asuna, which I don't believe you guys ever got.
I don't remember that brand.
Yeah, so Asuna was essentially just like a rebadge of Geo, which was a rebadge of Suzuki. So and the very last car I think was called the Asuna Sunrunner, which was just a Chevy Tracker. / Suzuki Samurai / a bunch of different things. Plus.
So you want to know? Oh wait, you know what? I might have found one. I found one Phoenix that does not have the Landau top on it.
Oh, there you go.
Most of the pictures I see of the Phoenix all have the Landau, like, luxury top on it.
Makes sense, to be honest. You know, but it's just kind of interesting with the Canadian-only market. And the reason why the companies actually did this, because dating back to, I think it was like in the 30s or something like that, that there was a tax similar to what the U.S. did to Japan, similar to the chicken tax. And so as a result, they made these Canadian-only models to get around the tax.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and you know, they did. Just like, you know, the Fargo, because Chrysler bought the Fargo name, like the whole company, in like 1922.
Just to be able to make vehicles up in Canada.
Yeah, well, initially, because Dodge didn't make a proper pickup truck at that point, and Fargo did. So the Fargos became the Dodge pickups after that. But and it's interesting because when you look, because Fargo existed as a brand until 1978, and then Chrysler sold off Fargo to some other company that's been defunct since 2015. But Fargo itself has not made another vehicle after 1978. But the one thing is with the Fargos, because yeah, they're just rebadged Dodges. Like if you remember when Dodges had emblazoned on the tailgate, Dodge. Well, the Fargos just had Fargo on the back of it, and what's kind of cool about, because the Fargo, their logo was a globe, to be honest. And so like it's kind of interesting. On each side of the truck, now, unfortunately, the driver's side badge is missing, but the passenger side one is still there. So when you look at it, it's half of the globe, and then the other half of the globe would be on the other side of the car. It's really cool. And Harvey, I believe so. I know at one point we only had Fargos, and just like at one point we only had Mercury trucks as well. Mercury trucks went till 1970, and I think Fargo, I believe their last one was 78. So, I know like they stopped production in 78, but and then afterwards they just became Dodge, period. Because they just decided it's not worth doing this anymore, and we'll just pay the tax. And I think we finally got rid of the tax later on, but and it's just kind of interesting, to be honest, and just what kind of came out of that. Because like Meteor as a brand via Ford was essentially Mercury, which existed from, I think it was the 40s until the mid to late 60s.
Harvey says Mercury trucks from 48 to 70.
Yeah. This is true.
Which I never even knew Mercury made a truck.
Yeah, Canada only. And Lily, it's just a rebadge Ford. That's all it is. It's not like it's upscale or anything, because it's not. It's the same as a Ford. You know, but yeah, they did. You know, Dodge technically, like, because their very first truck, I believe, was actually a Fargo truck, and then Dodge made their own trucks through the late 30s into the 40s, but because in the beginning,
I think a lot of Dodge trucks back then were more industrial, like big trucks.
Yeah, and for the most part they were. You know, like, and even this Fargo, what's kind of neat, because there's not a lot of information on it. I've done some research and can't really find too much. But what I can find is that, so that, because like I said, it's just a rebadged Dodge, which the Dodge at the time would have been called the Dodge, I think it was B1C, I believe, for the 3/4.
I know we had the D series at one point.
Yeah, we had the D series.
It was before the Ram.
Yeah, we had the D series as well, but this is dating back, like I said, to the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I don't know what they had back then. That's not where my knowledge is.
Yeah,
so.
and to be honest, my knowledge typically doesn't go quite that far either. Usually it's in the 60s and sometimes 50s, but 40s? I haven't a clue. Like, even the transmission in the truck. I had no idea if it was a 3-speed or a 4-speed. Turns out it's a 4-speed. Which surprised me being a 48, but There you go. I'm used to seeing 3 speeds typically. 3 on the tree and stuff like that. But and it's just
Depends. Maybe was it a work truck or was it like just a regular truck?
you can use it as a work truck because it does have a tilt bed on it.
Well, I'm saying, was that truck technically, because a work truck probably would have had 4 gears versus 3.
Well, the one thing is, it was an option on the 3/4 ton and 1 ton trucks. That I do know. Between having
probably for industrial use, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, like, this actually, so the license plates that are still on it, which are 70s plates, they're yellow plates, that's how I know that, and these, plates, they actually say commercial on them, because it was a commercial vehicle, and it's just interesting, because, like, looking at, okay, what's the difference between the half tons and the 3/4 tons and 1 tons, and basically it's just suspension, and it's 6 lugs on the 3/4 ton and half ton, or 3/4 ton and 1 tons. While also, the motor went from 92 horsepower to 108 horsepower. Which...
Yeah, and Harvey, that's what I was kind of getting at, because normally the industrial ones will have gearing more for a heavier load, for more, obviously working conditions.
Yeah, and see,
she's saying it was a commercial vehicle. Yeah, it was probably a hauler of some sort.
Yeah, see, and the one thing that I don't know, what the gear ratios are, like, if it happens to be, because it probably is, but I don't know for sure, if it is a Bolo, and it's just technically a 3-speed, just has a Bolo gear as well, so you have, like, essentially... First gear is like half of the gear, and then second gear is technically first in a regular 3 on the tree. But I don't know for sure. And also,
I mean, that's nothing saying like, an overdrive transmission is a 3-speed with an overdrive.
Yeah,
it's just instead of an overdrive, it's an underdrive.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same idea. And it's just kind of interesting. And just stuff I'm learning about it. And like it's just wild that it has no rust, and there's a reason for that, because a lot of the vehicles from the 40s into the 50s actually had galvanized bodies on them, because it was just spare steel they had from the war effort. So the manufacturers were able to use it to build cars. So that's why a lot of those cars, they still have good sheet metal on them because of that. Yeah, and see, and this one does, but I was surprised because it's got a box on it and not, say, a flat deck or something like that, or a more service-style body on the back of it to haul, like, grain and stuff like that more so, that surprised me, because I've seen, not quite that early, I've seen, I physically sold a 53 GMC, like, it was like a 5-ton, right? I think, to be honest. It's so hard to tell because, again, trying to find information on vehicles that don't have VINs but they have serial numbers is a pain in the ass. Just try to find out anything. It's like, you just have to find, like, old sales brochures and stuff like that to know. But...
Brad got his shirt last week.
Oh, cool.
I've seen some pictures of it. I haven't seen him wearing it yet. I did send it out to the link out to Elliot, but he hasn't done anything with it yet.
Okay.
I think Elliot's the last one. Because I gave you the link. You said you'd get to it when you got to it. I gave it to Chris. Chris hasn't done anything with it yet, and I gave it to Elliot. He hasn't done anything with it yet. I just don't need you guys all to do it all the same week. That would kill me.
Yeah, I would let you know. And it's just because the only crappy part is because of, with the whole PayPal thing. Because I still owe money to PayPal. Fun fact, this pissed me.
Well, it doesn't have to be PayPal. PayPal's just the easiest for me.
Yeah, well, I was just letting you know, though, because it's kind of funny with PayPal because I owe it's like $65 to PayPal because of a stupid an error on my bank that happened, but
Yeah.
PayPal doesn't care. So I've tried to reason with them and they won't do anything about it. So I owe technically it's like $65 to PayPal, and they actually they had a debt creditor call me. I'm going, really? Over $65? Are you kidding me? $65 and you have a debt guy calling me. Screw you.
They want the money.
It's one
They
thing.
want their money, cat.
I understand my MasterCard calling me because I owe them $2,000. That's one thing. But
maybe you owe the most money to PayPal out of anybody. Maybe you're their most wanted most wanted debtor.
Well, and actually now, Harvey, I would actually probably say that Ford has a larger following for 40s and 50s trucks as opposed to GM. GMs are just worth more, but Ford sold more. That because it was the only one for the longest time that could be equipped with a V8 engine. Everything else had an inline six until the mid 50s. Like Dodge came out with the Hemi, and I think it was in 53, 52 or 53.
They're after you, Cat, because you're a rich YouTuber.
That's it. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I like that explanation. It's the best one yet.
There we go. Ooh, see me.
Woo! Yeah, you definitely belong in this podcast, Cat.
But
I am out of I have downed the offending beer.
Oh, and actually, something that I want to show off here because I did this today. So if people don't know, I had an issue on Sunday with an errant taillight lens that decided to yeet itself somewhere on the highway. And
Ejectocito, cuz.
And so this was last Sunday that happened. So I've been driving my dad's bag.
Was it an issue that you thought might happen? Like, did you realize that the lens might have been compromised at some point, or is it just completely out of the blue?
I knew that it might be a problem. I just thought that I had it sealed good enough to where it wouldn't do that, and no, I didn't. So it just kind of flew off somewhere on the highway. And I don't know where. Honestly, when I noticed it, because I just stopped at Domino's in Olds, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna back my car up to the front door, just at the sidewalk there, and
blind everybody in the.
Well, I saw the reflection off of the glass, and I went, oh crap!
When did I put a headlight back there?
What did you say?
Did I say something weird?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, when did I put a headlight back there?
Oh. Well, the one thing is, because it was nighttime, and I had the taillights on, obviously, and yeah, and I go to back up, and I just see in the reflection that the LED is just hanging there, right? I'm like, oh crap.
Oh, so it wasn't even like it was up where it was supposed to be. Okay.
No, because how they were mounted in, which I have since, the LEDs are no longer in the car, period. At the moment.
You went back to the incandescents?
Yeah, for now. And the thing is, because how they were mounted were just with butyl rubber, and the boards themselves with butyl rubber were attached to the lens itself. So, no, credit to where credit is due. Even though I've had nothing but a pain in the ass time with these LEDs, they're built incredibly well because flopping around for who knows how long, going over 60 miles per hour because of Americans in here, and it just.
I don't know if I should be. I feel like I've just been called out.
Well, I have to say, because the one thing is, with Harvey, he knows both, kilometers and miles per hour, because he probably grew up using miles per hour, to be honest. Where I didn't. It changed to kilometers in like 1978. So, long before I was born. But it's one of those things. And with racing, we know miles per hour. Like, when they talk kilometers in racing, I have no idea what they're talking about. Legit. After about, like, basically 160, I don't know the conversion after that. Because 160 kilometers an hour is 100 miles per hour. I guess I know my internet's being buggy. But
yeah, it's just bloop, 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 bloop,
well,
bloop, bloop,
the
bloop,
fact
bloop.
that my YouTube was lagging, that's how I knew. But it was just, one of those things that again, in racing I know miles per hour. I don't know kilometers. And like 160 kilometers an hour is 100 miles per hour. But after that, like, I think 320 is 200, but I've obviously never gone that fast. So and yeah, and it's interesting though, because of like when they started to do the change, because there are vehicles, like, you'll see this, and they used to sell these stickers. You can probably still get them, but you used to be able to get them like everywhere. When they first did the change, because people didn't know the conversion, so you could buy these stickers to put on your speedometer.
I think we've had this conversation before, but that's okay. Go ahead. It's interesting.
But and it's just kind of an interesting thing. Like, in some vehicles through the 70s, even some in the 60s, you'll still see those on there that have been on there for 40 plus years, which is kind of cool, But a lot of people though now, they've just peeled those off because they know the conversion back and forth now.
Right.
But yeah, it wasn't until like 78 where we actually got kilometers on the speedometer and the odometer.
Yeah. Harvey says that his dad's 77 crew cab was metric.
Yeah, see, and depending, some in 77 were, some weren't. Like, the 77 Nova I sold was in miles. The 78 Monaco was also in miles. Let's see, and I haven't sold anything at 79, but and just different manufacturers did it at different times. It just depends on the vehicle as well. And that's one thing though, because even in the Fox body community, there are because in the States, the odometers were only 5-digit odometers, but in Canada, we got 6-digit odometers as early as, I believe, 1984.
Yeah. A lot of cars actually here in America are both. Some are both metric and standard.
Oh yeah. Everything manufactured after the change had both kilometers and miles on it. It's just.
Well, I'm saying I think in America most of ours are both.
Yeah. But again, it wouldn't have been until Canada changed that they would have done that, though. Because otherwise you wouldn't have had a reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to go check. I think my TA is both, which is at the 79. I'm not sure about my Nova.
Yeah, your Nova's 77? 78?
Right.
77, okay.
I don't think I might have a dashboard shot of that car somewhere, maybe.
That's probably in miles, just because the 77 I sold was in miles only.
I'm thinking it's in miles as well, but you never know.
But anyways, like, yeah, in the Fox body community, because there's some that don't realize that the Canadian market existed for the Fox bodies that way, and that we got different ones. Like, it's interesting because a Cobra Fox body Mustang didn't exist in the States until 1993. However, in Canada, we had them as early as 1979. But there's a little asterisk on that, because the Canadian Cobras were essentially just stickers that were added by dealerships. But it's still technically considered a Cobra. It's just kind of funny. It's just they were added on later by the dealers. So,
well, there you go. Dash on my 77 Nova.
If it'll...
There, let me make it bigger.
That's what she said.
Because this is when I had 11,977 miles on it.
Oh, it is both. That's interesting. I'm surprised.
The odometer is the reason why I took this picture, if you can't tell.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's like, there's a video I have, and out there, people have called me out to say I planned this, and I did not. Where I hit, I think it was 120,000 kilometers. I also hit 200 kilometers on the trip meter at the same time. I was like,
that's kind of cool.
Right, it was. I'm like, that was not. I didn't see that till afterwards. That people were pointing it out. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I did do that. And people are trying to say, hey, you did that on purpose. I'm going, there's no way I did that on purpose. Because you would have to, like, unless you had a jerry can, it's one thing. But, like, and you stop on the side of the road with a jerry can, that's how you do it. However, I didn't do that. Which is cool. And that is true, actually, when they did the digital dashes. But again, the digital dashes didn't really become a thing until the 80s anyways. And you could go from one to another. Which, like, there's some, like, Cadillacs and stuff like that had that. Even some Chryslers that had it, too.
Alright, I'm going to grab a drink real quick.
Alright. Which, the U.S. was going to switch to metric, but then backed out. When was that? I wonder. Now you have me pondering, Harvey. When was that? Let's see. Interesting. So I just looked it up. It was passed in 1975 as the preferred thing, but I guess it's just it was Jimmy Carter. He was the one that supported this. I didn't even know that. Very interesting.
What are we talking about? I missed it.
So, the United States in 1975 actually passed a bill to actually have metric, to convert to metric. And they experimented with, with signs and kilometers and stuff like that, and I guess Americans couldn't understand it, which, bear in mind, Canadians didn't understand that for a while either. It took a few years. But it's just, kind of interesting that even the U.S. actually passed a bill to do that, and then it just didn't work out for them. That's cool. Yeah, and actually, I guess it makes sense that, so your Nova had both, because Canada didn't pass that until I think it was 1977 or 78.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure my TA has both as well.
Yeah, so, and again, because it was passed in 75, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that I have seen almost every single car I've ever driven has had both. So, let's do a little what's in the cup. Wait, we all know what Kat's drinking, or was drinking.
I haven't finished it yet.
So Kat's got a root de beer.
Yeah, but what kind of root beer?
Well, the only kind you drink.
That's not true. I drink lots of root beer.
Only one I've ever seen you drink on the channel.
This is true. Whenever I have an opportunity to buy this in the store, I always do.
I had a mug root beer the other day, and I cannot believe how much... I used to drink mug when I was a kid, I'm like, either they changed how they made it or whatever, but it doesn't taste right anymore.
They have
I was not
changed
happy with it.
recipes on a lot of the drinks, to be honest, over the years.
I know my Barks is still the same.
Yeah, Barks is the same, and I love Barks, which is what I'm drinking. Yeah, that's the one thing. And now there was some.
Because I think mine was a 5-digit. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, American cars didn't really go to 6-digit odometers until like the 90s. And even then, depending on the 90s, some of them still had it too. Because even the Fox Body Mustang in the United States only had a 5-digit odometer period. The trucks only had 5-digit odometers as well.
Yeah, it's 5 with a 10th.
Yeah, which still a 5-digit odometer.
Yeah.
Because we don't count that extra digit as a thing.
Oh, I didn't. So that's why I didn't count it as one. I said it's 5 with a 10th.
It's not at gamble. I'm trying to.
Ooh, Arizona kiwi strawberry juice sounds good. Who else is in here? Is Brad still in here? Brad's still in here. Brad, what you drinking tonight?
Yeah, he just gambled. So,
That's how I know. I think we only have like 2, maybe 3 people in here.
Oh, that feels better. That's nice.
Yeah, we only have 3 people in here. I don't know where everybody's at.
I don't know.
Everybody hates us. Oh well.
It happens.
Their new podcast feature doesn't quite work. As Harvey got the message for, I think it was Harvey. Somebody got the message for the podcast like several days later. It's like, it's a live broadcast. Why would you send the notification out days later?
Yeah, I don't understand their whole thing with that.
I'm sorry, but if it's a podcast or if it's any live video, notifications should go out immediately. Not roll out. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. 3 days later. Notifications should go out immediately. It's a live. There's a reason why it's live, and I don't think I have anything on my account that would say that, you know, like my lives are detrimental to other people's health and well-being, that they wouldn't be, you know, like, I gotta understand if it's like a live video and it's some kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't even know what it to be, but, you know, something that would be not something you'd want people to see live. I don't think any of my videos or anything would have anything remotely like that.
Yeah, no, it's...
We might curse a little bit. We might, you know, obviously drink alcohol, but, I mean, we're just chit-chatting about cars and other car general things.
Now, okay, it's kind of interesting. So, a friend of mine, Kyle, he's currently road tripping. He started up here in Canada, and he's going through the States. Doing a big
Where's
sort
he
of
at?
almost like a tour, basically, of North America, or not quite the full thing of North America, because technically parts of Mexico
considered
are in North America.
Most of Mexico is in North America.
Technically, yeah.
I mean, it's all the way down to the Panama Canal is like basically the separation between North and South America.
Oh, he didn't have the bell notification, so that might be why too. Because technically,
yeah, you have to, and there's not just a bell notification. There's even different things inside the bell notification. So you hit subscribe. It used to be subscribe was enough. You get notifications for a channel. Then they went to, no, you have to be subscribed plus have the bell. Then they went, the bell has now 3 different tiers.
Okay, see, Harvey, technically speaking, Central America isn't actually a thing. It's only North and South. It's just...
Right, Central America is, I think, still technically North America.
It's partially North, partially South. But there's not an actual thing of that. It's just North and South. It's just what people have tried to say for Central, which technically, if you look at a map, yeah, you know, Mexico should be effectively, at least majority of it, Central America. But that doesn't exist. So that's why it's North and South. But anyways, so talking about Kyle here, he only dailies like really cool old cars, to be honest. Like,
Right.
He used to daily, it was a 1970 Chevelle that it was a sedan, and it had the 250 inline six in it with Power Glide. But now, because he got this thing back on the road, he drives a 70, I think it's 72, Torino 4-door, which there's actually a back shot of it there. And these Torinos have the sexiest ass end on them, period.
So yeah, the North American border is the far east side of Panama, which I do believe would be the Panama Canal, or somewhere near there. So North America. Oh shit.
Yeah, see, I was telling you about this when you were not paying attention. So
I was paying attention-ish. I knew that you said something about dailying a Chevelle.
Well, yeah, you didn't catch the second part of that. Because he sold the Chevelle, and now he is dailying that, which is, I believe, a 72 Torino. And it's a sedan, and it's got a 302 in it. And actually, so that this thing... Gotta do this.
Nice reveal.
As long as it
Hold on, I can do that too. You ready?
Yeah, there we go, it worked. Because the one thing that I was doing there...
I had to do it too, so that way it worked for your end.
But, and apparently, it's interesting, because he got 14 miles to the gallon out of it, which I'm like, actually kind of makes sense, only because even though it's a 302, it is in a big pig of a Torino that's not very aerodynamic, so I understand that.
I'm just giggling at the comments.
But it's just, Kyle's kind of cool because, he has this page called Searching for Classics, and what he does, he's an automotive photographer. So, I think he's even done some pictures of my car. And he did a full photo shoot of, which somebody who hasn't been in his live for a hot minute, Teen Mechanics Cadillac.
Yeah, he's ditched me, apparently.
He has been busy.
I'm no longer worthy of his time and attention.
To be fair, I can barely get a hold of him texting him. He's been very busy. So, I've been
all that graduating and stuff.
Yeah, well, I've been able. Is he graduating this year? No, I don't think so.
No, he's got a little bit.
Yeah, he'd be graduating
another year,
next.
I think. But he's got all that. Oh no, that's what it was. He got that big trophy, and now he's better than everybody else.
Well, you know what's really funny? So, when
bring your mic back up a little bit.
Me and you were telling him, you should just get kind of a. It's cool to have your big boats and everything, and that's fine. But for a daily driver, you should have something kind of economical. And
we've been telling him that for how long?
Yeah, he's got a Cavalier now. So.
What year?
He hasn't told me. But it's.
Is it like the more roundy, newer style, or is it like the 90s?
He hasn't put pictures out with that thing. I don't blame him.
My chair keeps sinking, and it's getting annoying.
But it's one of those things where just but anyway, so yeah, with Kyle, he did a full photo shoot of Teen Mechanics, Eldorado.
There you go.
And because let's see if I can find that actually, and they're really good pictures, to be honest. Searching for Classics, it's a cool page, just because again he does automotive photography, which is what we like, and he travels all around taking pictures of people's cars. And he doesn't charge anything for it. I don't know what he actually does for a job. I haven't figured that one out yet, but okay, Saber, what are you doing? Stop typing on the keyboard.
Oh, I hate when I. All right, so you already hit me on this, and I'm gonna hint on Harvey's U.S. geography. Yes, way to go, English.
Geography.
It's not as strong as suit. Apparently, neither is my infant wisdom. I can't even fucking say it. Words are not my favorite thing. I know a lot of big words. I know the meaning of a lot of big words. Try getting me to say them, pronounce them, or spell them is a different story. I can read them just fine. I know their definitions, but pronunciation, phonics, forget it. I'm horrible at it. There was a time where I couldn't spell anything that was more than 3 or 4 letters long. Couldn't do it. Phonics is absolutely the bane of my existence. But yet I love fucking reading.
Yeah, hook it on phonics style.
It's... Huh?
Hook it on phonics style.
Yeah, I actually did hook on phonics. So don't even... That's not even funny. Part of why I was in like resource room stuff when I was a kid, not only just for having ADHD, but because my spelling was absolutely garbage, and it was causing issues where like I didn't want to learn or I didn't want to do things because I couldn't spell what was in my head. You know what it's like when you have knowledge in your head and you can't get it down on paper because you can't spell the words that you want to say. Makes book reports absolutely miserable.
Yeah, I understand that at least now. I didn't have a problem with that pre-COVID. After COVID, different story. There are times when I can't spell the simplest words, and it.
But you've retained all that car knowledge, on that important shit.
Yeah, that's the important stuff. Wait, what?
Yeah, spelling it. No, I excel in anything math, science, anything like engineer. Like I can look at something and normally tell exactly how it works and what makes it do what it's supposed to do. I loved history. I loved reading. Anything that has to do with writing something down or anything like that, forget it. I can't.
Can you?
It's absolutely frustrating. To this day, I'll even have my girlfriend fill out things and stuff like that because I just don't like writing. It's frustrating, especially when you have something you want to say. And I have dumbed down text messages and different things because it's like I want to say it this way, but then I can't figure out how to spell the word. I can't get it, whatever. And then it's like, fuck it. Well, let me just use the simpler word that I know how to spell. And so it really makes me not sound the way I want to. And even pronouncing words, even speaking them sometimes. What is in my head does not always normally make it outside.
Yeah, I mean, and that's...
I was in Trig 2 when I graduated.
Oh, I never did that.
I was all the way past. I was past pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2. I don't think I made it quite as far as calculus. No, I definitely didn't make it as far as calculus. But I know I was past trig.
Yeah,
math was something I could always do, like long division in my head. I can't now. But when I was in school, I could do long division in my head without paper.
Oh, I was terrible.
If I had a piece of paper, it was just to jot down like a number or two I needed to remember, but not necessarily to do the actual calculation.
Yeah, well, see, and that was the one thing, because, like, there was times with math that I could do some complicated stuff, at times. And then when it said, show your work, I'm like, I can't.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Me and my math teacher, this is something cool, because I had the same math teacher through all of it. He taught all of the math classes. Or at least most of them. I think there was one other math teacher. But me and him had an understanding. One of the things is you're supposed to show your work for your homework. And because I always just wrote down the answers, he's like, fine. Do this paper in front of me. We did it in front of him, exactly how I did it at home. No writing down except for a number or two here and there. Came up with the answer right in front of him. No calculator, no nothing. He's like, all right, from now on, do your homework in the beginning of the class when you come in, and I'll grade it. You don't have to show your work.
See that?
So, never had to show my work after that.
That's cool. Throughout, junior high especially. High school, I had it more in grasp, so it wasn't as much of an issue. But when my ADD really hit me was basically when I was a teenager, to be honest. And so when I basically was in about grade 7, I was trying to find something, because, like, especially, when trying to do work in class, of what can I do, because my ADD when everybody's freaking talking is bounce around to all the conversations. I couldn't focus on what I was doing.
Oh yeah, I hated that.
So, what I just tried one day, and my teachers rolled with it. It was nice. Is I brought my MP3 player into class because I had an MP3 player.
Oh, I did that all the time.
Yeah, and it's just
I would sit there with my MP3 player or CD player or whatever. I'd have it in the front pocket of my hoodie. I would have one earphone put up into my ear. I do that to this day.
well, see, no,
If I want to concentrate, I will put on music and I will go.
I had to have both because I would still hear the conversations regardless. I had to have.
Well, I only put the one in, and I always kept it to the side away from the teacher. A, because I didn't have the teacher's permission to do any of this, and B, it was so that I could still hear the teacher.
Oh, well, see, technically, so, now I never did it when the teacher was talking. I only did it when it's just like, okay, you can go to work now, and I just put my earphones in. And that was the one thing.
No, I had to have it constantly.
Yeah, and that was the one thing with my teachers, because I just did it. I didn't ask. I just did it, and they were just okay with it. So it was like, cool, yay, I can do this. Made a lot of the other kids quite jealous, but I actually needed it. It wasn't just a, hey, I get to listen to Tuna.
Well, I mean, that's just like, okay, so that's just like, like when fidget spinners and all, and I even have a fidget cube around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at the moment. Now those all came out long after I was out of school, but kids were getting in trouble, even though those devices were made to keep people with ADHD stimulated so that way they can concentrate on what they're doing. But because, again, just like any other thing that comes along to help us, other kids without ADHD get a hold of them, start playing with them, and they're a distraction for them.
Yeah.
And so then it gets banned. Nobody's allowed to have them. And it's like, it's so frustrating. So it's like, you come up with a solution that keeps the kids quiet and busy, but then because other kids, it doesn't work for them and it makes them loud and obnoxious, now you can't have it. But yet then the ADHD kids go back to getting in trouble because they don't have anything to keep their mind busy.
Yeah, well, I just, honestly, the one thing is with, my ADHD, I could just fidget with anything. It didn't matter what it was. And it
What
just
are we
worked.
welcoming?
Like, a lot of the times, because I had two different erasers. One eraser I'd actually use. The other one was physically for fidgeting with. That's it. I would also play around with pencils a little bit too, and pens, just flicking them around my fingers all the
Always.
time. And it's just,
If I wasn't drawing or playing with a pen or an eraser or something, I had, and we didn't really even realize. I mean, like, I knew what ADHD was. That was technically on Ritalin, but they didn't have any, like, there wasn't any, like, yeah, this is how you handle being in class when you have ADHD. It was just, here's your medicine.
see, and that's the one thing, because my mother just went, no, you're not going on Ritalin. We tried a bunch of different medications, and I just found out that none of these are really working, and I just figured out how to do it myself.
That's what I did. I was up until I was 15. I was taking Ritalin from the time I was like 10, 11, up until I was, I would say 15 or 16. And at that point, I literally told my mom, I'm not taking this anymore. And I stopped taking it. I found other ways to deal with it, and I decided to say no. And I still have issues with it. I mean, everybody in this live stream that's been in the live stream long enough knows I still have freaking ADHD issues. I mean, technically, right now I am fidgeting with a really actually pretty cool USB stick. But yeah, I mean, it's never gone away.
Yeah, but like,
But what is Shane being welcomed for?
I was just telling him, welcome to the stream, because...
Well,
because
okay.
literally,
I
he
thought
said,
it was
yeah,
a
he
welcome,
just
like
came in now, because it hasn't been telling him when you've been live.
Shane, and this goes for any channel that you actually want to get notifications for, and this is why a lot of YouTube channels push it down your damn throat. The little bell icon next to subscribe, there's three different choices of bell notifications. I think one of them sometimes, one of them's always, and another one is I forget what the other one is.
Yeah,
I just
there's all, nothing, or personalized. Which I've never done the personalized thing to figure out what does that entail. Like, can you just be notified for when you go live? Because maybe he's not a big proponent of, say, the rest of your channel or whatever. That's fine.
yeah. That's however you choose to ingest my content, or what content you choose. That is, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because like me, I don't watch all of your content, and you know that. But I watch enough of it here and there to know what's going on between what you share in a live and what I catch on Instagram or YouTube or wherever I catch it.
Yeah, well, like, and even with your stuff, I don't watch much of your stuff, but the one thing is...
But friends generally don't do that to each other anyway.
Yeah, and well, because also, we just kind of tell each other what goes on anyways.
Yep, exactly. We talk.
Yeah, so...
I don't need to watch your content because I know what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I might find out some stuff before you share it, but some of it, you share it at the same time you post it other places.
True. That's a lot of my videos that I post.
Most of the time, you guys get first dibs before anybody else in that live stream group. I will tell you that. Most of the time, you guys do, even if it's only like a couple of minutes, you guys will get a heads up before it goes anywhere else.
Speaking of stuff on the car, because this is going to be one of the next videos, I just don't know when I'm going to post this one yet, because there's still the auction video to put out. There's still, I got to upload the video on the Fargo that I did today, and the video that I did on my car, because, out back.
You got new lights? Oh, new lights.
Well, also, look what else is there.
The wing?
No, the wheel tail's always been there.
I'm trying to. Besides you mean the back, the louvers? Louvers were there before too, weren't they?
Not in the wintertime.
Oh, okay. You take the louvers off in the winter.
Yep.
I guess because they're a bitch to clean with the snow.
Yeah. Not only that, they're ABS plastic.
Oh, brittle.
Yeah. They're also they're from the 80s. I'm surprised they're still alive, to be honest.
But the plastic from the 80s.
Yeah, it's ABS plastic.
So they're not newer.
No, these were only made for 2 years in the 80s. It was 85, 86 by one company.
Okay.
They went under. Nobody's recreated them since.
I'm still absolutely fucking trying to find a pair of the aluminum Krager louvers for my
The one thing
TA.
is, I've been just looking, and anytime I see the louvers, it's always the terrible ones for those. I never see the Kragers.
Yeah, it's the Kragers are the only ones I want. I don't want the other ones. I only want the Kragers. It's the only, and like I said, the Kragers are what they knocked off the plastic ones after.
You see, now, and something that I might do, because the one thing is with that ABS, and like, cause something I've thought about is just like, it already kind of has the sort of finish because of the plastic the way it is, similar to a bed liner or something like that. So it's like, screw it. Why don't I? Because rattle can
cover it in bed liner to protect the plastic.
Yeah, I just don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if potentially it's too thin for that. I don't know for sure. I'd have to contact someone about it. Otherwise, if I can't, I actually have absolutely unicorn, even more unicorn than those Fox Buddy ones. I actually have these louvers. Now, they would need to be modified a little bit. They just need to be extended on the sides, and then they would fit perfectly. I have louvers from an 85.5 Escort GT that had a rear wiper on it. Unicorn. You'll never find these. Because it is a 1 year only thing, and it was only a half-year thing, because the rear wiper was no longer an option after 85, and 85.5 is when they did the third brake light, which happens to be on the louver itself. And they're in really good shape. They need some work, but nothing that's like, hey, they're not gonna fall apart or anything, because they're metal and they're thick. I love it. But I want to, I might just modify those to fit, because it's not much that they need. I would just need to extend the aluminum just a little bit by like less than an inch, and it would fit.
Yeah. Well, if anybody out there in the chat ends up coming across a set of aluminum Kraggers, let me know, because I had a set nailed down. Well, obviously, I didn't have it nailed down because I don't have them. But I knew a guy back when I first got my TA. His name was Tim Wilson. Funny, his last name's the same. Not related that I know of. And he had them on his 79 Gold SE. And he hated them. He wanted them gone. I was like, fine, don't get rid of them. He was going to trash them.
Oh.
Don't get rid of them. I want them. He says, well, they're broken. I was like, I don't care. I want them. I will repair them. And we hauled back and forth, and he's like, yeah, several times he would say he would send them up, and then he'd get distracted and not send them. And we have since fallen out of communication. He got kicked off of Facebook. I have no idea where he's at. I don't even know if he still has them. But obviously that set's probably a no-go. Probably won't ever get that set. I do have his original door panels out of that 79. He's the one that sent me up the rockers when I had the 403. So it was not like we didn't talk. We didn't have, but yeah, so I just lost that, and I haven't really found a pair since. Normally when I find them, it's after they're already sold.
See,
it's like I'll find an ad for them and they're already gone.
See, something, and I'll have to see, because the one thing I didn't do, because when I went down to that massive junkyard last summer, I didn't really venture into GM land because we were on a mission for Ford stuff. Specific Ford stuff. And because he might have a set, to be honest. It's just because he's got frickin' everything in that yard. Literally.
Yeah, but the thing is, he might have a set. Would he even let it go?
Oh, yeah, he would. He doesn't give a fuck about GMs. He's a Dodge guy.
Yeah, so they can be on a Camaro or a Firebird. It's the same thing.
Okay. I will...
They're not different for the two.
Yeah, I will... when I'm down there, which I want to try this summer to go back down there, because I do want to film more there too, and there's stuff that I might be interested in buying too. So,
not to mention though, I wonder what the freaking shipping would be to send that over here.
I already know what the shipping would be, and it's 400 Canadian.
That's a lot, because then, oof.
It is. I don't have, the only unfortunate part, I don't have connections to getting stuff shipped, because I know minimum for louvers, it seems like it's always $400. Like, because I tried to with my louvers, because I was getting these ones made, which I don't know what's happened with that, to be honest. I literally have no idea. I didn't spend a lot of money, thank God, on that. I just mostly have gas money and time, and then $48 for that back window that I gave to him. To make the louvers for that thing out of proper aluminum, and he was gonna, do it. He was, because I know he had to buy.
Did you know that those Kraggers are not full aluminum?
Oh, really?
Mm-mm. Only the center section is aluminum. The outside corners are plastic.
Why did they do that? That's so weird. I guess
because the plastic is molding. It's easier to mold the plastic corners than it was to mold the center. Besides, they probably could have used the same center section from the previous, the 76 and back ones. Because the 76 and backs were flat windows.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think 75 and back, not 76. I think 76 was the first year for the wraparound corners.
Yeah, you are right. 76 is the first year for the wraparound. I just remember that for some reason. Looking at...
So it may be the fact that center section is still the same from pre-76.
It might be.
And they just made ends to match the wraparound corner.
And it could have just been that. It just it just seems like an odd sort of thing to do.
Pretty sure those are the ugly ones that I definitely don't want, but I will go check. Let me highlight that.
Yeah, because it's probably the ones that I have seen.
And if they're the plastic ones, forget it. I want nothing to do with them.
Yeah, because Willpack, oddly enough, are they're the ones. I thought they went under, but maybe they didn't. Willpack was the ones that built my louvers back in the day, but they only made them for like 2 years. Okay, he found those on eBay, apparently. He just said that.
Those are the plastic ones from Summit Racing. These might be the ugly ones. Who makes these?
Let's see here.
Because these are the ones that have the I can't even bring them up.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. I've seen them on cars before.
I don't like them.
Okay, let's see. So, yeah. Oh. Interesting. So I went to Willpack's website, just looking at what they make. And I went to Chevrolet Pontiac for aluminum because they have one that's, ABS plastic.
The ABS plastic?
Yeah. They do mention that there are, and there's...
This is what I see when I look them up.
Yeah, because there's 2 different part numbers.
That is not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's a better looking one, though, than the ones I usually see.
I can't stand that one. When you look at it from different sides, it does not match the body lines of the car.
Well, and I was, because the one that I hate the most, actually, I could find that video on Instagram. Because I have that video on Instagram, I just need to find it. Actually, is that
Those are the plastic ones.
No, I didn't pin it. Just gotta scroll down a ways. Because it's when I got my car dyno tuned at the shop, and they just happened to. There's a video. There is... See, this is the style. I just took a screenshot of it. Now, actually, it's not the really, really ugly one I was thinking. I thought that was...
Yeah, if anybody's wondering, these are Krager louvers. Not to be confused with the plastic ones they make now.
Yeah, you want the aluminum one.
Because these are a lot thinner. But those are Krager louvers.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. Because I will... Whenever I'm down there, I will look and see if I can find them. And even, who knows, because I do wonder if you would be able to. It would be a little bit of fabrication, but it'd be worth it for you just to go grab like an English wheel just to make the corners, right? Just to learn that. And you can buy English wheels actually fairly cheap. Just cheap ones, and they work just as well as expensive ones, to be honest. But, I just make that yourself. Or you could do sort of your own style of thing and make it, instead of perfectly round, do a little bit of an edge. Just depending.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a...
It's a bitch to weld that aluminum, though. But...
Right, but the whole reason of... It's a period correct thing.
Oh, I get that. Look, what I was getting at is if you happen to find a pre-76 louver, like a 70...
I haven't seen any that are from that era.
375. Yeah, and like I said, because who knows, he might have that, and could I call him and ask? Yeah, but I'd much rather just look.
More fun to look.
Exactly. And what's interesting, because apparently normally he's opposed to people filming, but I told him I filmed, and he didn't have any problem with that.
Oof.
And he's probably gotten a
So I found some. They're not sure if they're sold.
I can imagine they're probably pricey.
Yeah. You don't want to know the price that I found them for, and I don't think they're worth this price.
What? $1,600. What was close? $1,300.
$1,200.
And that's probably not including shipping either.
They're not the greatest of shape.
No, like
They're not horrible, but they're not great. They're not $1,200 great.
No, if they were completely restored and then with shipping, I could see that potentially.
You can see where the sides are plastic there.
Yeah, I can't really see that on my small screen.
Well, look at the different colorization between the plastic and the aluminum.
Well, I was just looking at, well, because of that, but honestly, looking at that, I just thought it was just the lighting. That's what I thought. I mean, of course, I've been wrong.
There, look at the corner where the louver slats
Oh,
meet.
there we go. That's a better look. Okay.
That would be why it would be hard to make them in aluminum, because of where they, see where the different bends meet together. That'd have been a bitch to make in aluminum.
Okay, thank you, Saber.
He has all the locks too. Huh?
Oh, well, because my cat finally got off me, so I can actually have my keyboard where I wanted it. So that he wasn't.
And that's the other bitch, is finding the hardware for it.
Well, the hardware themselves, that's going to be easy to make. Because
I just saw the...
Well, because all the hardware
where
is
was that?
for any of these, because it's all the same. I've dealt with a few louvers. They're all the same. Basically, you'd have... Now, and you could do it different ways. A lot of them had, like, a plastic sort of nut that you could take off. But... So basically, you just have a stud on a small piece of metal that just has a slight bend at the bottom, and it just goes right underneath your trim. Yeah, that's the exact same style that I was thinking, to be honest.
That's solid. That's all metal. There's no plastic there.
Yeah, well, exactly. And there wasn't, like, some would cheap out and have little plastic nuts, but sometimes not. It just depends. Sometimes they were metal nuts, sometimes they were plastic. And the thing is, it just goes right underneath the trim, and that's how it's held on. And Harvey, no, 70 to 81 is not. 76 to 81, yes.
What?
For the louvers.
No. In 1976, they went from a... hold on.
Because what they did was, with the back window, they enlarged the back window. So it went from a flat piece to a piece that had a little bit of an extra curve on it. And they probably added an extra, probably 3 inches or so, give or take?
No, they're like 8.
Oh, was it really that big? Okay. Actually, I guess they did extend... Did they extend the bottom of it, too? No.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay. So...
Hold on. I will share.
Because I was just trying to remember, just in my head. But yeah, so, like, 76 to 81 would be the same. But...
Well, maybe they changed that in 75.
Oh, I thought it was 76.
Let me try 74. Okay. It's 74.
Oh!
70 to 74. So this is the rear glass for a 70 to 74. See, it does not protrude around the sides to the C pillar of the B pillar. And try to find that same angle. Might even be better just to find a side shot. Let's just do 70, 74, Trans Am. Okay. There we go. There's a 74 rear glass. Just barely see it. Right? And there is a 76 through 79 or 81.
Yeah, so they not only extended the length of it, but they also made it wrap around towards the C-pillar, where the other one didn't really do that. So, and something that I do kind of want to share, because if you remember,
the spiders want me to tap dance. I don't want to tap. Oh my god! Lay off the acid, Brad.
Now, the thing is, something sad to report. So, if you remember a couple weeks back, this would have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did a review of a 2014 beautiful grabber blue Mustang GT.
Did it wrap itself around something?
No, worse. A semi-truck smoked it.
Oof.
Like, it's done. There's no repairing that.
No, it's smushed.
And, like, luckily,
whose fault?
Everybody's fine. No injuries to report, apparently, which I don't know how when you smack a semi, but there you go. Not their fault, apparently. It was...
Right. Okay, so it was the semi-truck's fault?
Yep. I haven't heard the full story. I haven't talked to them yet about it, but I saw the posts.
I'm
like, oh, that's
we really need to get these Mustangs together and let them know that a semi-truck is not a large crowd of people.
Well, it didn't veer itself
large
into
crowd
that.
of people, soft body. Semi-truck, you're not going to make it out the other end.
Yeah, it's just so sad. I loved that car. That car.
Well, you have documented that car. It is now a documented car. It will now forever live in infamy. Fuck words.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with winter road conditions, Harvey. It was just apparently
did it blow
a truck driver...
traffic light, or...
Like, from what I understand, it's just a truck driver being a complete idiot driving. Probably going too fast and likely turned in front of him. That's what I'm thinking. And so, yeah, it wasn't it sliding about or whatever else, because even though there's snow on the ground there, the roads were perfect. So, there's no excuse for that. It's just a semi-truck driver being an idiot, which the one thing is, a lot of the population that is,
driving trucks?
Yeah, that is driving trucks are way, undertrained.
Yeah?
Period. So...
They get that swift training.
Yeah, there you go. But it's just, it is sad, because there was an incident. This was a number of years ago now. If you, heard, because actually, there was, so they call it the Humboldt Broncos crash, because the Humboldt Broncos, they were a hockey team out of Humboldt, Saskatchewan. They were just a minor league team. And the thing is, there was this truck driver who hit.
Oops.
He just.
I did a thing. Apparently, I killed my.
I see this.
webcam.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. That was 5 years ago. And what happened was just a truck driver that was barely out of training, to be honest, and the training was only like 3 or 4 weeks apparently, which is not enough time to train somebody in a semi-truck. It's just not, to let them out on their own. And unfortunately, hit this school bus full of the Humboldt Broncos team. And as a result, a few of them died, a lot of them have injuries, and since then, the entire of Alberta, it really screwed with the transportation system here in Alberta and like getting licenses and stuff like that, because they had to do an entire reform for it. So, just very sad.
Yeah, I am trying to get my webcam back. I might have to do the whole rest of the podcast without my webcam.
Okay, Saber, what do you want? Do you need food?
It won't even let me go to the webcam settings. All right, hold on. Let me trace this back and see if I can find where this plug is at. You guys can still hear me okay, right?
I mean, I can hear you, but I don't know about them. Can everybody hear NOVAtazz? Because obviously we're having technical difficulties with this camera. Yeah, there we go. That's what it was. So, because Harvey said with the Humboldt Broncos, they ran a stop sign with a B train. They hit a highway coach and split it in half. And the roof came off, so you can see why people died. Okay, and they can hear you. So.
Okay.
And it's just, yeah, it was just such a tragedy.
I'm actually. Oh no, I don't know if I can do this. Because technically, the Streamlabs wants to take over the webcam first. If I switch this to something else. Will it give that right?
I gotta feed my cat, so I'll be right back. I can still hear you because I got a wireless mic. It's kind of nice. But I just won't be on screen.
No, that's screwed up.
Hang on, Saber. I need to give you your meds because I didn't this morning. Because when you have senior cats, they need medications.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as old as Saber is. You know, being 24 years old. Yeah, hang on, rascal. Okay, rascal, get out of the way. You doing that is not going to make me go any faster. Hang on, boys. Oh, there we go. Here you go, boys. Enjoy. As for me, I'm grabbing another drink. There we go. All right. Oh. Nice, Harvey. Yeah, no, I'm back now. So therefore, the stream is mine. Because I'm the only one on camera. So now I'll take the entirety of all of his YouTube income because the channel's now mine. Mwahaha. That was a nice shot. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, no. Your mic isn't working anymore there. I didn't even know you were talking. Well, he's... I don't know, did you like stab it in the heart to try and fix it? Like, that's not how you fix things. Yes, I can hear you. Well, I can hear you now. I didn't hear you before. They can probably hear you now. Oh, okay. Snowball? Your cat's not working? No.
Okay, now maybe the web, you can hear me maybe?
Yeah.
I think you can hear me again. Okay, so I have an issue. Not only is the webcam now not working, but neither was the mic.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am officially...
This is my mic. You can't see. What the heck am I trying to show
Yeah,
you
I was gonna
for?
say, like, it's not gonna help.
Fuck.
Actually, no, that wouldn't work, would it? Can you?
What?
No. Oh, yeah, no, because that's right, you can't even do that. Cause I was just thinking, like...
The only way I was trying to explain, the only way I think I can fix this is to shut down Streamlabs for a half a second and pop back in. Like, reboot it. Because it tries to take over everything. I have to start Skype before I open up Streamlabs, or Streamlabs will steal the webcam.
Well,
So it's gonna be a hold on to your butts moment. I was trying to be a funny, and I was trying to say, Cat, I need to pull a Jurassic Park.
You know what's really funny about that? I'm watching Jurassic Park.
Yes, I'm going to have to shut down the power grid and turn it back on. So we're either going to make it out this other side, or you guys are all going to be getting a notification for another live stream.
Oh.
What?
So, I just saw today, and it's already sold, David Freiberger, 3 hours ago, listed the Disgusting for sale.
Oh well.
And he was asking a very healthy number, and apparently he got it because it's sold now. He was asking 75.
Yeah, you wouldn't even think that car would be worth it if it wasn't for the fact that it's famous.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually in good shape now. Like, you know, they did a lot of work to it. But it's... Yeah, he was asking 75 grand.
Woof. All right, guys, hold on to your butts. I'm going to close my streaming software and reboot it.
Watch it just axe everything.
I know. I'm waiting. I know that YouTube will give me a couple seconds to get it back up and going, and I'm hoping it's long enough for me to get it back up and going. Ready? Hold on. Yes, exactly, Jesse. Hold on to your butts. Here we go. 3. Cat, you won't lose me.
Okay.
Everybody else will.
It's a bit slimmer better than
Just don't poke the hole at the center. Okay, ready? Here we go.